You're 29 years old. You've been saving diligently for 5 years. Your account balance finally hits $38,000. You spot a house you like, 3 bedrooms, decent neighborhood, listed at $400,000. Your real estate agent is in overdrive. Rates could spike next month. Inventory is tight. If you hesitate, you'll miss your chance. Your parents keep nudging you about how rent is wasted money. Your friends who bought houses a few years ago flood social media with backyard photos, remodeled kitchens, and casually drop lines about equity growth and locked-in rates. Meanwhile, you're sitting there staring at your $38,000 down payment fund, calculating numbers for the 100th time at 6.5% interest. With 20% down, that's $76,000, and your monthly mortgage would be roughly $1,950. Add property taxes, $4,400 per year, that's $3,670 a month. Insurance comes to about $140 per month, and maintenance at 1% of home value adds another $333 each month. You haven't even touched furniture, repairs, or emergencies yet. Total monthly outlay, $2,790. You're currently renting a similar house for $2,100 per month. Your instincts tell you renting is smarter for now, but everyone around you insists otherwise. You're wasting money, missing the equity train, falling behind in life. So the question that keeps you awake at night hits you. Which is actually cheaper, renting or buying? Here's the truth that nobody tells you. There's a straightforward method to figure this out, called the 7% rule. Once you grasp it, you'll stop letting agents pressure you, stop absorbing well-meaning but misleading advice from family, and start making decisions based entirely on real numbers, not emotions. I'm Jack, and I spend way too much time analyzing why people make some of the worst financial mistakes simply because they were told renting is throwing money away. If you've ever wondered whether you should rent or buy, or if you feel pressured to buy a house that might be out of your financial reach, stick with me. Hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because today we're breaking down the rent versus buy decision with real 2026 numbers, using honest math, not hype. And fair warning, the answer might surprise you. No fluff, no pressure, just the reality of what your money is actually doing. Let's dive right in. Here's the reality nobody tells you. When you rent, people say you're throwing money away. When you buy, you're told you're building wealth through equity. It sounds simple, even comforting, but here's the catch. Both sides involve spending money you'll never see again. You're just spending it in different directions. Let's break this down. When you own a home, you have 3 major costs that vanish forever, only in the same way rent disappears, costs most people overlook completely. The first is property taxes. Even though you own the house, the government still takes a cut every year. On a $450,000 home in 2026, average U.S. property taxes hover around 1.1%. That's $4,950 per year, or roughly $412 per month, gone immediately. Unlike mortgage principal, this doesn't build equity. It's simply a recurring expense for the privilege of ownership. Next is maintenance. Experts suggest budgeting 1 to 2% of a home's value annually just to keep things from breaking down. Let's stay conservative and use 1%. On a $450,000 home, that's $4,500 per year, or $375 per month. Think about replacing a roof, a water heater, HVAC issues, plumbing disasters. These aren't optional. Each dollar is gone the moment it's spent. You're not building equity by fixing what breaks, you're simply preserving the home you already own. Finally, the cost of capital, which is where the 7% rule comes in. Your money has an opportunity cost. Take that $90,000 down payment. If you invested it in the stock market instead, historical averages suggest roughly 10% annual returns over decades. Homes traditionally appreciate 4 to 5% year over year, which means you're losing roughly 5% growth annually by tying your funds to a house. On top of that, you're paying mortgage interest on the remaining 80% financed. In 2026, at a 6.5% interest rate, this adds up quickly. Let's do a practical example. A $450,000 home, 20% down, $90,000, financed $360,000, opportunity cost at 5% is $4,500 per year, mortgage interest at 6.5% on $360,000 is about $23,400 in year one. Maintenance and property taxes add another $9,450 combined. Total, around $37,350 annually, or roughly $3,112 per month. That's your real cost of homeownership, the money leaving your bank account every month, never to return, similar to rent. Compare that to renting. You might find a comparable home for $2,100 per month. If you invest the $1,000 difference between rent and homeownership, even with conservative returns of 8% annually, over a decade, that difference can compound into a substantial sum, potentially $100,000 to $120,000 more in your pocket after 10 years. Renters can build liquid, flexible wealth, not trapped in walls they can't easily sell. 2026 numbers reinforce this strategy. Mortgage rates are expected to average 6.3% nationwide. Home prices continue to rise modestly, while rents are relatively stable, even slightly improving in affordability compared to homeownership. For most markets, unless you're buying with a huge down payment or locking in rates below 4%, renting and investing the difference is often financially superior. Of course, buying has intangible benefits: fixed mortgage payments, control over your space, emotional stability, and long-term roots. But these come with costs: lack of flexibility, responsibility for all repairs, and a highly concentrated investment in one illiquid asset. 52% of American renters now prefer renting to all the expenses of ownership, and 36% plan to rent indefinitely. They're not failing, they're making math-based choices. The key takeaway: both renting and buying involve money leaving your hands. The only question is which option costs you less. That's where the 7% rule comes in. Multiply the price of a home by 0.07, divide by 12, and compare to local rents. If rent is cheaper, rent. If homeownership costs less, buy. Simple, clear, and based on actual math, not pressure, not hype. So, here's the key takeaway. Renting is not throwing money away. Buying is not automatically building wealth. Every month, money leaves your account no matter which choice you make. The real question is which option costs you less. That's where the 7% rule comes in. Multiply the price of a home by 0.07, divide by 12, and compare to local rents. If rent is cheaper, rent. If homeownership costs less, buy. Simple, clear, and based on actual math, not pressure, not hype. So, here's the key takeaway. Renting is not throwing money away. Buying is not automatically building wealth. Every month, money leaves your account no matter which choice you make. The real question is which option costs you less. That's where the 7% rule comes in. Multiply the price of a home by 0.07, divide by 12, and compare to local rents. If rent is cheaper, rent. If homeownership costs less, buy. Simple, clear, and based on actual math, not pressure, not hype. If this video saved you from making a $400,000 to $500,000 mistake because everyone told you to stop throwing money away on rent, share it with someone being pressured to buy. Drop your own break-even rent calculation in the comments so we can see how your local market compares. And remember, the people telling you renting is a waste, they usually profit when you buy. Real estate agents earn a commission, mortgage brokers earn a commission, even family and friends sometimes want bragging rights for helping you buy a home. Nobody gains when you make the smart, independent decision. Do the math yourself, run your numbers. Your future self will thank you. Make decisions with clarity, not fear. And now, get out there, calculate your break-even rent, and take control of your financial freedom. See you in the next one.